and welcome to another episode of the Leeds United Women's Show here on LUTV. Now, once again, we're going to get stuck into all the stuff surrounding women's football, and we're going to talk about the Leeds United Women's recent results, currently sitting third in the table, good work, and progress through to the next round of the FA Cup. Now, joining me today on the sofa, we have the women's top goal scorer, Rebecca Hunt.
Hiya.
We'll make sure we get a crown delivered to you later on, a temporary crown. And the lady with the longest title ever, bear with me on this one, the Senior Women's and Girls Officer from the Leeds United Foundation, Abby Lee. Hi, Abby.
All right.
Yeah, nice to have you back. How are you?
Good to be back.
You all right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. We're also joined by the guy with the shortest title ever, head coach, Dan O'Hearn.
Hi, Emma.
How are you, Dan?
I'm fine, thank you, yeah.
Have you recovered after last night?
Sleepless night, but I'm getting there.
Of course, I mean, in your opinion, that result, you were a bit scuppered there, weren't you? Would you say that?
We were.
It ended up being 2-1, but maybe shouldn't have been?
Yeah, top of the table clash there, top of the league, we're third. They had a very good team, don't get me wrong, but the first half we totally outplayed them. Went in at half-time 1-0, and we should have been at least 2 up, maybe 3. Same story again, we can't take his chances. That's his downfall so far this season. But the second half, they scored a goal, the linesman flagging for offside. Our players have stopped and the referees overruled him, so that was a hard one to take, and it deflated us, to be fair.
You are, of course, talking about Barnsley, who played last night, who, like you say, are top of the table at the minute. And you disagreed with some of the decisions that were made. Rebecca, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel, like Dan said, it was a game of 2 halves. I feel like we were very much on top in the first half. We could have went in 3-0, 4-0 up. And then the second half, yeah, the decision obviously went against us, and then they got 2 quick goals in quick succession. And we tried everything to try and get the ball in the back of the net again, but we couldn't. And I think it was one of them games that on a different night it would have been a different result. So. But we can hold our heads high that we competed with the team that are top of the league.
Absolutely, and you made it difficult for them. You didn't make it easy, did you?
No, every team that comes to Thorpe Arch know that they're in for a tough game against the team that we've got now. So
they are, and you've had a good run so far, haven't you, this season? Like you say, you sit third in the table. What is the feeling around the team at the minute?
Real positive vibes. Like I say, we've been doing really well. 1 defeat up until last night, but we sat in third. And I think we'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
Well, you can't argue with that, can you? It's all right, sitting third. And Dan, as head coach, what has impressed you most so far this season?
We've got a real togetherness. We did sign quite a few players in pre-season, but they're all good people, and there's a real togetherness with the girls. There's no cliques out in the team, and we're just working hard for each other.
How important is that? Because it's something we don't discuss that often, the relationship between players in a team. How important is it that there aren't those cliques and they all just get on?
To be fair, it's massive in the women's game because there is a lot of cliques in women's football, so to have a team where everybody gets on with each other and they're all buying into what we want to do and achieve, it makes my job a lot easier, to be fair.
And I imagine it makes your job a lot easier, Rebecca, playing alongside people that, you all get on with each other.
Yeah, and it's great. It's like a kind of a support network as well. So, if you haven't played your best or you haven't done what you want to do, like all the girls are still there around you, and everyone genuinely just wants everyone to play well and for the team to do well. So it's great to know that you can kind of go to anyone in the team and you're going to get good advice or good help from them all.
And I imagine that's one of the main things that you need to get a good team, is that relationship between them.
Yeah, I've said previously it's okay getting good players in, but first and foremost for me it's about getting good people in. Obviously there need to be good players as well, but you need the right type of person to come in. You don't want people coming in and upsetting the apple cart, so to speak.
Absolutely. And am I right in thinking, I'm sure on our first women's show, we chatted about the fact that quite a few of them were from Leeds, weren't they, or surrounding areas, a few of the players that you've got now?
I think most of the players are actually from the Leeds area, bar maybe myself and 1 or 2 of the other girls who aren't from Leeds. But yeah, I think as well it adds an extra almost like passion as well. Not that me and the other girls who aren't from Leeds are any less passionate, but it's just really good to have the homegrown girls involved as well.
Yeah, there is something special about that, isn't it? When you play in and it's for your local area and it's your local club, the one that you've grown up watching and loving. Now, FA Cup, where does that rank on your list of priorities this season?
Not at the top, to be honest with you. It'd be nice to have a good run. We had a good run last season in it, but it's not the top of the priorities, to be honest, this season.
And you've been drawn against Barnsley, who, as we said, are top of the table at the minute. You're playing them in the next round. Rebecca, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think it's good, to be honest. I think they're coming to Leeds again, so it's not going to be an easy game for either team. And I think we need to kind of, we know that we can do well against Barnsley, and we know that I think the rest of the team probably think that we could beat them. So I think with it coming so soon, it'll give us a chance to kind of almost rectify and have another run out at one of the better teams in the league.
And it's also a good opportunity for you to maintain your trophy as top goal scorer, isn't it? 6 goals so far this season, Rebecca. What's the key to just putting them away, basically?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the hard work of the team. So we get the ball in the final third, and then I guess just being in the right position and just finishing the chances off. I think a lot of the time it comes down to in the women's game, not necessarily power, but maybe a lot bit more accuracy. And just staying composed in front of goal, I guess.
I was going to ask about that because it's very easy as a spectator and onlookers to sort of watch it and go, oh, how did you not get that in? But when you're in that final third, when it's you thinking about it, how much thought is going into it before you move your body?
I think quite a lot. I think it kind of almost goes into slow motion sometimes, but I think the best thing is it's kind of like when you're taking a penalty as well, is you just go with your decision. If you've decided you're going to go one way, don't change your mind at the last minute, because that's when you kind of fluff it up. And you're when you miss a chance, you're the first person who knows about it. I'm sure there's people watching, and then managers and stuff who are obviously disappointed you've missed a chance, but you know you've missed a chance, and you know as soon as the ball's left your foot most of the time. But yeah, I think it's just about being decisive, making a decision, and just sticking with it.
Do it confidently.
Yeah.
Dan,
to be fair,
agreeing with that.
I'm pretty critical because we are a team that create a host of chances every game, and we never seem to kill teams off.
Yeah.
So we're always like 2-1 or 1-0. Like last night, we went in 1-0, should have gone in 3-0. I think the game would have been over, and we've let them back in, and they've won the game, unfortunately. So for me, I want them to score every chance, and I know I've got to be realistic on where we're at. But it's frustrating when you see them in training scoring goal after goal after goal. You go into a game on a Sunday or a Wednesday night, and they miss, chances what they should be burying, really.
So basically, what you're saying is Rebecca 6.
No, to be fair, Rebecca's a midfielder, so she's doing brilliant. She's doing brilliant.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Rebecca. And like I say, we'll make sure we get you that crown, at least temporarily. And Abby, it's great for you, isn't it? As I'm not going to reread your title, but basically, you look after the foundation, don't you? And it must be great for you to see the Leeds United women's team doing so well.
Yeah, of course it is, and I think it's always good for any female programme that we run. All the way from what we're doing from the grassroots stuff right through to the RTC. It's always good to have role models, and I know I said it previously on the other show, but obviously our under-10s will look up to these girls, and they'll see them that they're playing for the badge like the RTC girls are. They're playing for the badge, and so the first team. So I think it's always important when the team's doing well, like Leeds are at the moment, that they are role models, and that's important for the young footballers of today to be looking up to.
Absolutely. And are you aware of that as a player, Rebecca? Do you know how much influence and impact you can have on the young girls coming up?
I think absolutely, and I think yes, it's the girls who are involved at the RTC at Leeds as well, but we were just chatting earlier about how a coach full of a local youth team turned up to watch our game against Barnsley last night, and I think it's just then you kind of realise how much influence and impact you may have without necessarily realising it. So obviously it was a local derby last night, so you had the 16 girls representing Barnsley and the 16 girls for Leeds, and that's probably something that a lot of them girls would look up to and want to do in the future.
Amazing as well that you drew a crowd of 300 as well, didn't you?
Yeah, biggest crowd of the season. Obviously the coach load helped swell the numbers, but there was a big crowd there, and it was a good atmosphere.
That's brilliant. I mean, to get 300, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No, we usually get around 100, 150, but to double it or treble it is brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, well, because it helps. The atmosphere is a lot to do with it, isn't it? Yeah. Well, let's look ahead to your next fixtures as well, because you've got the League Plate game on Sunday against Bradford, and then you're playing against Durham, and then it's the FA Cup game against Barnsley at home on the 27th of October. Which of those seems the most daunting to you?
Durham, they're fourth in the league, so that'll be a tough game going to Durham, and obviously Barnsley in the FA Cup. They're a good team.
But you're going to have a point to prove, aren't you, Rebecca?
Yeah, I think it's a chance for us to go back and rectify things a little bit.
Now, Rebecca, you study medicine at university, don't you, as well as playing football for the Leeds United women's team. So we will talk about shortly the challenges that poses for you. But first off, let's hear from your teammate, Molly Cawthorne.
Hi, I'm Molly Cawthorne and I'm a defender. I'm a post lady. Just come back this season, but before then I played from being like 9 to being 19 and had a few years away and come back. I suppose it's quite a physical job, so if you've had like a hard game and then you're walking like between 10 and 13 miles the next day, it's quite physically demanding. I think sleep's like a big thing, because like I like, honestly, like I nap so much, like because I start work like really early, so can start like, I don't know, anything between 5 and 7 I can start work at, so like I just like as soon as I get in from work usually I just go to sleep for like 2 hours. I think your body sort of gets used to it after a while, but when you have a break from it, say like Christmas or like between, I don't know, end of season, between pre-season, then getting back into it can take a little while, I guess, because obviously it's like building your tiredness and your fitness levels back up, and you'd like your body being able to do both, I guess, really. I absolutely love it. Like I do, like myself, but I do a lot of running as well, so it's like do like obviously running, football and my job. That's definitely quite hard, but yeah, of course it's worth it. Like when you're playing on a Sunday for such a big club, and like obviously the men are like really interested as well, which makes it like, so like the girls absolutely love that, because it's the backing and the support and everything. It just makes it feel so much more like real, like you are playing for Leeds United. One thing I found this season that's like probably helped me is like I've got myself really, really fit. So you sort of like one step ahead when you're fit, because like you can think about your game more rather than having to sort of do the both, and then you're not fit enough to see stuff and blah blah blah. So yeah, definitely I'd say so. I think the men's teams are really getting behind the like the ladies teams a lot more. Like I suppose I would probably, like when I first started playing when I was really young, not probably that many men's teams did. I don't know, it wasn't as well known sport sort of thing. I don't think people really knew like that women played football. But like now it's ace, like the club, and particularly Leeds, like, and quite a few others as well have like really taken a keen interest.
Oh, your teammate Molly Cawthorne there, and it is something that you don't think about when you watch football. The fact that you guys have to juggle work, football, fitness, your social life, your family, everything. How do you manage that, Rebecca? Because we said, you're studying medicine as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit about knowing what your priorities are and what you enjoy. I think for a lot of the girls, obviously we play at a good level now, but we also enjoy it a lot. So we come to football, we enjoy it, we work hard at it, and then yeah, it's just about working out what we need to do and what we can do. And I think all of the girls are doing it pretty well, and we all enjoy it, and everyone's in the same situation. So we've got them support networks. But football, in a way, obviously, yeah, we play to win, but we also play to come and enjoy it and just to see our friends as well.
I mean, if you're juggling your life like that, you have to enjoy the sport, don't you? But what does, without getting too personal, what does a normal week look like for you?
Yeah, so usually I tend to have lectures and or hospital placements from 9 till 5 most days. So I'll go do that during the day, and then we train twice a week from 7 till 9 up at 7 till 9, 8 till 10, sorry, up at Thorpe Arch twice a week. So I'll do my full day of lectures, come home, eat, train twice a week, and then a weekend usually would consist of maybe socialising with friends on Saturday with no alcohol.
I knew you were about to say that.
But socialising with friends, whatever it is you're doing. And then on Sundays usually, and I think most of the girls would say the same, is you reserve kind of your whole of Sunday for football. So whether it's you're on the coach going to a away game, or whether you're like prepping for a game, that's what Sundays are. So weeks can be pretty intense, but it's enjoyable, so I enjoy it.
That is one heck of a week. And Dan, obviously, I guess as head coach, you would like to have more of the girls' time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. They do put a lot of time and effort in, like Rebecca's just said, and socialising. They know that they can't go out drinking with their friends, because I'm pretty strict on stuff like that. I know some managers let their players get away with that, but I don't. So if they do, if I find them out, they don't play.
I'm getting nervous now. I'm ready to cancel my weekend plans.
Whether it be the captain, the best player, they don't play. But they're all good girls, so they don't go out and socialise the night before, or they don't drink any alcohol.
But looking to the future, would you like to see the women's game get to the level where actually they don't need to go to work as well? I mean, they can if they want, but they don't need to.
Obviously, it's happening in the Super League now. There's a lot of full-time players, but obviously that's where we want to be eventually. But it would be, it would be good if we could get more time with the girls. Obviously, improve them. Yeah. But where we're at.
Well, I've got to say you're doing very, very well with the time that you are given. sitting third in the table. And Abby, for you, we've heard from Rebecca there how much of a juggle it is. Where does that leave you in terms of encouraging young girls to come in and advertising this?
I think it's always quite... I think women's football's probably already on a pathway where it encourages itself anyway, because girls who want to go into football probably have a passion for it.
Yeah.
I don't think women's football, probably said this previously, but they don't see it as maybe as a career as much. So like you're saying about these girls, at the bottom line of it, it's a hobby and it's a passion. So regardless of what you do, I think you will always want to do it anyway. So I suppose my job is to sort of push these girls into the right direction of wanting to come and play sport and football, but I think that's already done really.
Yeah.
It's just about putting on them provisions for them to make sure that it's in place, that it's accessible, it's easy for, if a young girl wants to come and play football, as a foundation we're putting something on for any, however good she is, however much she wants to play, we're putting that on for them. So I think that's what's most important.
Yeah, making sure that they get the most out of
Definitely,
it.
and we're putting something on that makes it accessible for anybody at any age, really.
And Rebecca, you've all touched on it now, that you're doing it because you love it. From a sort of mental well-being point of view, is it a bit like your escape playing football from everything else?
Yeah, almost. You kind of you have your life, like your 9-to-5 job, and then you come to football and you look forward to it, and you know not only are you going to get to do the thing that you enjoy doing, which is playing football, but it's like Dan said earlier about how everyone seems to get on in our team. You come and we all get on with the managers, and we train and we work hard, but we also like have a laugh as well at points, which I think is really important because it means the team ethos is good. So yeah, it's definitely one of the things I most look forward to in a week.
Have a laugh, but no alcohol. Okay.
Yes.
Definitely not.
Now, the last time we were here, guys, it felt like summer, but now it's definitely winter. So, Abby, for you, what's it like encouraging people to get involved, encouraging the girls to get involved at this time of year? Does it dip off slightly as the nights draw in and it gets a bit chillier?
I think if we're looking at the different programmes, I think when you're looking at, like, we've got a talent centre on a Friday night, which is basically, we've got about 180 girls that come down.
Wow.
So this just sits below the RTC. That I can't say that's dropped off at any point because of the winter or anything, because the girls are still so eager to do it. Like I say, 180 girls are coming down, so that's a lot of commitment. The RTC, like I say, we've got about 70 girls that come down there 3 times a week. So in terms of your elite pathway, no, I can't really say that it does drop off, but I suppose the weather does probably have an impact in schools and stuff, but I'd like to think that we're putting on sessions and we're encouraging girls that regardless of whatever weather it is, and we're making them accessible and fun, really.
Yeah, making it accommodating all year round.
Yeah, definitely.
Like and in terms of promotion then, what are you doing? Because 180 girls, that is no mean feat, that's really good. How do you promote the women's game to those girls? So
in terms of the shadow squad on a Friday night, that's just basically we've done that. It's sort of promoted itself really. I think the Leeds United badge does a lot, and obviously the girls love the thought of playing for Leeds United, and it's a massive honour. And the end goal for these younger girls is to play for the RTC, so that is a feeder to the RTC. So a lot of them girls that are coming down on a Friday night, they're in a year's time they'll be hoping to trial for the RTC and get into that female pathway. So
that must be rewarding for you to be a part of all that.
Yeah, of course it is, and I think it's definitely something that I'm really passionate about. So to be a part of the programmes, not just like I say on the elite, but also the young girls coming in that are just wanting to play, and to think that as a foundation we're creating a pathway for anybody is for me, that's really rewarding.
It is, it's great.
Yeah.
Right then, we've seen some huge crowds at the Etihad and Stamford Bridge for the women's game. Thousands and thousands of people. Did that surprise you guys?
I think for me, no, to be fair. Coming back, like I said, the summer's been massive for women's football, and I think the men put in so much behind it, the initial first part of the season. So the men's clubs are saying come along and play at our ground, and it's encouraging fans, and I think that's really important. You just hope that it gets sustained. So it's quite hard because we're on a high from the World Cup, we're on a high on these sort of initial games, but it's about generating them fans to come in consistently all season, and that's what women's football needs. So it's a good platform, but my only question is does it get sustained?
Yeah, is it sustainable? Well,
Yeah.
Dan, how do you capitalise on that?
I think Phil Neville's come out and said that they need to, it's brilliant this, but we need to fill the smaller stadiums first,
Yeah.
pack them out every week, and then maybe move to bigger stadiums.
And can you see that happening?
I can, yeah. It's growing every day, the women's game, so yeah, I don't see no reason why not.
Well, on Phil Neville, he's come under fire as well recently for his squad selection and for some of the performances of his team. Are the Lionesses, do you think, in danger of losing momentum off the back of that, Rebecca?
I think I'd like to say no. I think it's a difficult one, as in I feel as if it could be turned around at any point. We know that there's a lot of quality and depth in England, and I feel like once the performances start coming again, they might be fine. And yes, they haven't had a few of the best results, and maybe they've come off a great World Cup and they may feel like the results aren't going their way, but I feel like it only takes a game to almost bounce back, like a really good win, and then it could be that they start winning lots again anyway. So I think it's just about, again, remaining positive and just trying their best to get the results.
Absolutely. Well, we say we don't want to compare the women's and the men's game too much, but in that respect, they are comparable because the same things happen.
Yeah.
You can have a dip in results, but then as soon as you get one good result, momentum's built again, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the honeymoon period might be over for Phil Neville. He's come in when a new manager goes into a club, or obviously he's gone into the national team. It gives the players a lift and you get good results, and they did brilliant in the World Cup. Now, you know, they've been beaten by Brazil, they've got a scratchy win against Portugal. But they've got a lot of talent. We've got a lot of talent in this country, and we should be up there competing with America and teams like that. So I think it's a temporary blip. Hopefully it is, and you know, they get back on it and start winning football games.
And do you agree with that, Abby? Do you think that England should be more consistent because of the pool of players available to them, professional players?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're in that gap, really. I think England always just sit below the better teams, don't they? And I think we're always at danger of just not being quite be able to get there. What the answer to that question is, I don't know. But I think in order to, England need to be at the top level, like you say. We've got so many good players in this country. We're producing so many good players. It's about filling that gap between us and the likes of America. So how that is done, I don't know, but we need to really.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that gap will get closed.
Yeah.
And that'll be something I imagine we will be referring back to again on another women's show, because it's important to cover that and just keep an eye on it. Well, on that, guys, have you got anything else that you wish to discuss? Dun, dun, dun. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. Keep scoring goals. Thank you very much, Abby, and thank you so much to Oakland.
Sorry, can I just say to any Leeds United fans, obviously last night 300 fans at Thorpe Arch, please come down and support the girls, because you will see a lot of quality on show.
Absolutely, and just remind them where you're going to be next, where they can find you.
So the next home game is the 27th of October against Barnsley in the FA Cup to a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, it'll be a good game, that, as well.
Yeah.
So get yourself down there and cheer them on. Like I say, thank you so much for joining us on the LUTV Women's Show. We'll be back in November, and don't forget as well, you can watch all the highlights of the women's games on LUTV.